core of what we do is Castles and Crusades. We used to be a D20 publisher. We shifted all of that to CNC once Castles and Crusades came out. So I think we've done one D20 book in the last 2 years, and we won't be doing any more in a year. We won't be doing 4th edition products. So Castles and Crusades is our core product. The Crusaders a magazine we do. We've done fiction products under the Chenault & Gray bandwagon. Then we've done some of Gary Gygax's properties, the Gygaxian Fantasy World series and Legendary Adventures. We just released Gourd by Gary Gygax. And then on the other side of the coin, we are in the process of launching a series of games that are related to the Siege Engine, but different games, the Star Siege. And then Davis has, for a long time, wanted to do just games, Shira board games. He's got Cleaver the Pit that we worked on for years. So we're just kind of branching in that direction. But the core is Castles and Crusades, without a doubt. You can try anything. And you don't have to open a book. You just have to say, I swim the river. And the CK is going to try to figure out quickly whether you can swim or not, and whether the river's current is too hard or whatever, and then you just make your dexterity check or strength check or whatever the CK wants it to be. The Siege Engine is the main mechanic that drives Castles and Crusades. Basically, you have your 6 attributes and your base score to succeed at anything you're trying to do, any skill or whatever. It's 12 or 18. If it's primary attribute, your base score is a 12. If it's a secondary attribute, it's an 18. You add your level to it, you add your attribute bonus, and the Castle Keeper is going to adjust it by whatever difficulty he wants to have on there. That's the engine. That's how you resolve all non-combat conflict is resolved that easily. And I think when people play it, they're kind of introduced to the ease of play, which is the germ of the game's success. And then once they play it a couple of times, I think that they get kind of addicted. We play tested the basic set, part of the basic set not too long ago with some neighborhood kids. And I was stunned at how much joy they got out of the game. They'd never heard of this. They'd never heard of tabletop role-playing games. They'd never heard of any of this sit down with your buddies and roll dice killing each other. They were just jumping over themselves, having a ball. And it hit me then that there's actually a whole demographic that we aren't even marketing to. Everybody says, oh, the video game has stolen our players. Well, that's actually not true. We're just not marketing it to them because they don't even know we're out there. And there's a good chance that they like hanging out with their friends. They're going to keep playing. It's like I said earlier, when we started this entire conversation, I played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. But I collected comic books. I was on skateboards. I rode my bicycle. I climbed. I spit. I did all that. I played Army Man. I did it all. Dungeons and Dragons was a part of it. It doesn't have to be the only thing you do. So there's no reason that kids who are playing online role-playing games can't stop on a Saturday afternoon and play some Castles and Crusades or something. There's no doubt Gary Gygax is my mentor. I mean, he became this kind of font that I would tap whenever I would need to, and he was always so open with information that I don't know, he taught me a whole lot of stuff. He taught me a good way he taught me the importance of dealing with people, how to deal with people. I've always been good with folks, but he kind of taught me that the fans are the #1 thing to any of these endeavors. I mean, we make these games, we might think this, or we might want to market this, or we might want to price it or here, or whatever that we're doing, but to Gary, and always to Gary, the absolute most important thing to him were the fans of the game. One of the most I hate the word disappointing, but heartrending things, I think, that has come out of his passing. Gen Con 2007, I don't know what happened, but he was there. He was the guest of honor. I'm sure that had a huge part to do with it. Peter Atkinson bent over backwards to honor Gary. Atkinson's a great guy. That staff was phenomenal. We did some signings at the booth, about 4 or 5 of them or something, and the turnout was enormous. Not only did we devote half of this very large booth that we had to Gary, because by that time we had all of his LA stuff out, we had GFW out, we had some of his Castles and Crusade stuff out, we had some of his odd and end things that he had done to us out. So we had this huge wraparound section devoted to Gary. And when we do these autograph sessions, people would line up. The line would go out, down the aisle, a couple of blocks down the aisle, and vanish. We had to get the booth, it wouldn't close down, but we had to get everybody out just to police people to keep it running. And this was every day, every autograph session. It was phenomenal. I mean, we were just amazed. And I think he was tickled pink. And then he saw that the book that he had there, the Eastmark Folio, had just released, and it just blasted off the shelves. I mean, we couldn't keep it there. And of course, a lot of people wanted it autographed, and so forth and so on. So that did really well. And I think that at that point, Gary really, he had finally recovered from the shingles and he recovered from the stroke. And I think he came back from Gen Con because he started emailing me so much about projects he wanted to do. I mean, there were so many projects. He was emailing me, we got to get this going, we got to get this going, we got to get this going, let's do this. And he started a whole new line of Castles and Crusades modules. He started a whole new line of Legendary Adventures modules. I mean, I could almost see what it was like back in 1979 when he was at the head of it. And
Trollord Games, join the fray.
I had to cut it off.
They just were like,
oh, okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Well, thank you for coming. I'm Chuck Cumbo, Community Director for Trollord Games. We're here to talk about the Gygaxian World Building Series. And real quick before we get started, a couple things. One, we have a raffle going on. You folks that are over on YouTube or Facebook, if you want to join in, unfortunately, you will have to join us over here at least temporarily to get in on the raffle. And if you could, there's the link. You could just come over there and click on. You can leave, whatever. Just give us a follow and Exclamation Point Raffle. But we're giving away some raffles today as usual. So go ahead and join in if you guys have it. Just give us a follow if you're new. Welcome everybody that showed up early. That's for the early crew. Good to see you guys, and good to see everyone that. I think we had a new person that said they were just new to seeing here earlier, and some other new folks pop in. So welcome always as well. Today we're going to be talking about yeah, that's right, Trollza. We're going to be talking about the series. We have a question pinned, and we want to hear what you guys think about that. And we're going to talk about it a little bit today. And that's all I have. Grace, would you like to start?
I'm happy to start. Well, the question: if you got 2 good eyes, or one good eye, you'll see. Up at the top of the chat, it says, which of the 7 books of the Gygaxian Fantasy World Series are you looking forward to the most? There's lots to pick from, all 7 volumes. I guess, like, maybe first order of business, do we want to just really quick go through what each of the books are? Just briefly.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Just a refresher, so people know what they're voting for.
You want me to do that, or do you want to?
I think we should all scramble to say everything at the same time. And No,
I
take
love
it
it.
away, please. That would be great.
There's a link, guys. You can follow along to our Gygaxian Fantasy Worlds page as well while Steve talks about it. Go ahead, Steve.
All right, so the first volume is, and just as a quick note, what you're looking at the link there, all 7 volumes are there. We have the original covers up today. As time progresses, we'll get the new covers and new content and material up. This is just to get you an idea of what's coming. So, and these were not designed to be put in any kind of order, though we originally actually didn't call them volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. That came later. They really were just a collection of books that Gary was editing or writing that he wanted out that had a ton of material in it. So the first one is the Canting Crew. Canting Crew explores the classless underclass of cities and towns, thieves and rogues, assassins and stuff like that. It comes complete with a cant to English and English to cant dictionary. So if you're playing a rogue, you can speak in the thieves cant. There's examples of greetings and how to communicate and all kinds of stuff, along with city architecture, bridges, towers, gatehouses, streets, everything to kind of help you build that type of environment. The World Builder is probably the most popular. Well, the names maybe. The World Builder is just gigantic 200 pages of lists of contents that you would find in cities, towns, rooms, dungeons, castles, and then what you would actually find in those. So, a list of flatware. It's got a list of animals, list of flora, fauna, weapons, armor, types of torches. It's got all kinds of detailed information about what goes into the world. Living Fantasy is how to actually create a fantasy world. And it starts at the beginning with environment and then goes into transportation, waterways, stuff like that, and goes on into creating a feudal system, society, classes in society, all of that business, along with travel, magic, how magic would interact with such a society. Book of Names has over 100,000 names in it. Book of Names is very, very cool because the center section, this part 2, is broken down. It's called People, and it's broken down by. It's got Sumerian and Egyptian and English and Celtic and French, and when you look at like the French, it'll have modern French and the medieval French. So it has this plethora of names in it. Along with that is how to create a name, how to create a fantasy name, blah 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 blah. Lots of stuff in there. Insidiae is how to create an adventure, both published adventure and one that you're running at your table. Begins with environments and goes into plot and characters and all of that stuff. Nation Builder, its title says it lets you build art. It kind of gives you the how-to on how to create a nation from start to finish, starting with the environment wherein the nation begins. I don't know what you're laughing at, Davis, but I'm just going to keep plowing on through.
I'm reading the comments.
Yeah, the comments are great. Chat's on fire.
Shit.
Cosmos Builder.
We love you.
Sorry. The Cosmos Builder is very much like Nation Builder, but the Cosmos, it lets you step down and into the outer planes, the astral, the ethereal, and all that, and how to create a cosmology around the world that you are building. Now I'm done. All right.
So, with that said, we got variety. It's pretty excellent.
Lots and lots of variety.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in these. 2 points come up on this in the comments too. That in addition to my +1 backscratcher, which is now going to be a magic item somewhere.
I'm gonna real quick. I just want to thank Savage Splinter for throwing out all those gift subs. You threw some out when you first got on earlier. Thank you. I saw that. Dude, appreciate that.
You rock.
Yep. And we're getting some really interesting comments in here about the actual names. Actually, a couple comments real quick, Steve. I thought you might find these rather interesting. The first one is from Manfred. He says, honestly, the names are kind of bleh for me. They're not very descriptive of the content. The Canting Crew, is that about pirates, as an example? And Heather replied with, don't forget, folks, if they can't pronounce the name, it's not a good name, no matter how cool it is on paper. So.
Yeah, Insidiae is what she's referencing to. And I got to say, and Grace, even you the other day said you didn't really know what was in the Canting Crew. And I guess that, I don't know the word. When I saw the Canting Crew, I knew it was about thieves because it's when Gary first pitched it to me, because the cant is what thieves, they have the thieves cant. So the Canting Crew, to me, the Canting Crew makes obvious sense to what's in there, but clearly it does not.
And that may be like, so that may be, and I don't know about modern iterations of the game, how much the Cant plays.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe
in gaming, but growing
Yeah.
up, the thieves' cant was very important. That's how you spoke secretly to other thieves and stuff like that. And we used it quite extensively. I mean, the thieves would know their cant for their like specific area and how to communicate with thieves in other cities. You know, so it's like this transnational secret language that they had with one another. So when cant came up, I knew immediately what it was about. However, I don't know if audiences today, or even if the word conveys that to most people who weren't reared on the word. You know,
Have all of you guys used Cant before, like in your games?
Oh yeah. Chuck,
Yeah.
have you?
Chuck's busy typing.
Sorry,
Jeremy,
work.
have you?
Oh, we can't hear you.
He's really into mime. He's been reading a lot of books about
Oh,
mimes
no.
lately. So he's working on it, right?
It's a secret cant he has.
Nice one. That was good.
We're supposed to understand.
It's the quietest cant ever. But anyway, so yeah, no, and I get the thing. So like World Builder, there's a difficult one too, right? And that's the one that got me kicked off Dragon's Foot, right? When I had that no.
We heard something.
Was
Yeah,
that?
we can hear you.
Wait, say another thing.
Hello, talking.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go. You're in.
He's just ignoring me.
Yeah, I saw you talking earlier, and I saw your mouth moving, and I thought you were like having like a conversation on a different thing or something
No,
else was
I was
going
just I was just saying, like, yeah, Cant
Oops.
hasn't been in the game, and like that's like that's like a legacy thing. That's not around anymore.
Is it really? So it's not
Yeah.
in fifth edition.
I use it.
It might.
I'm
yeah,
old.
Chuck, you use it. You're old.
Yeah.
I think it's badass.
I use it. I use it too because I'm weird. I think
Well,
it's an ability that rogues have in 5th edition, but it's like
is.
not explained at all.
No, and it's such
Like
a
it's it's just a language that they have, and it's
Yeah.
not.
it's kind of defined
elaborated
as like it's a
It's a secret
code signal
code.
that you can use to communicate with other rogues. But I've played rogues. I've had rogues in games that I've run. I've used it maybe twice,
Yeah.
2 instances ever.
Yeah, we did a big. What was it? I can't remember who's playing the rogue off the top of my head. Oh, Aiden's character's playing the rogue, and they went in. This is about 4 or 5 games ago, and they went into a tavern, and he spied a thief who he thought was a thief, and they all sat down at the table. And while we were role playing it out, Aiden was having his own role playing session. Of course, we spoke in English because we don't really speak Cant, but he was speaking Cant to that rogue the whole time. It was really cool.
That's awesome. I will say, like, being one of the people that has never really like used Cant substantially or thought about it, the Canting Crew makes me really excited about it.
Yeah, I like the name. I'll be honest, we're probably not going to change that name because that was the first book
Yeah.
Gary pitched to us. So
I just
Oh my
hear that
God,
and I
it's a
think
great
the
name.
Canting Crew, and it sounds like a parade book.
It does. That's a good point. It sounds a lot more jolly than it
Yeah, it sounds
is.
very. It sounds like, or I think of like the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say you got the Canterbury Tales. You got a lot of Gregorian chant going on. This is
Yeah,
like a Gregorian
it's like
chant,
is
you know?
this like a medieval period thing? It's like no.
the chanting crew. That's what.
Killers and thieves instead.
Yeah, I don't know how much. So what would be cool about it? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get rid of the names. So I put that warning sign up the other day on Twitter, and that's that was a warning. It's a warning. It's a sign that thieves would use,
Right.
just like what is it called? Graffiti is used as like turf. It signals to other people that this is my turf. That's what graffiti oftentimes, and it tells people in the know. It gives them certain information. People in the know, right? So they would have these warnings. You know, they would like paint these warnings or scrawl warnings places, and there's different signs and symbols for different types of warnings and information.
Wow.
And
Yes,
you,
this is what Davis is talking about. Go ahead, Davis. I'm just gonna.
yeah, and those are real. I
Those
mean,
are like hobo what are those called? Hobo signs or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So you could find them. So what would be cool is like you could put them like randomly in dungeons, and there's no decipher script. The only person that would know it would be a rogue. You know.
Yeah.
That's
Did you-
well. That's how I would play it.
Did you
but-
guys catch what Phantom New Jersey put in the chat about 5e?
I did not.
Thieves
Here's
can't.
the
He put
description.
he's got a whole description from the 5e book actually about it. Rather interesting.
So they
Pretty
still
much-
use they still use can't in 5th edition. Okay.
Yeah,
Hobo
Thieves
code.
can't as it's in 5e.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's fun.
And it's much more. Oh, that's right. It's much more weaponized.
I have no clue,
Uh,
but sure.
it's like double speech. So in 5th edition, you say a sentence that to everybody else sounds like normal speak, but
Right.
to someone who knows the can't, they pick up the secret message in it, which is not how real can't works.
So,
That's
so
not how it works.
just so chat knows, we are definitely doing it about thieves, not hobos, as some people have talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
But
sure
I
it's
can't
probably
get-
similar. But
Hey, this back scratcher, I have to say, is awesome because it has a little like these spinny parts. I broke the top one.
I know mine's
It,
broke
like,
too.
Do a little like mini massage on you.
Well, it's a +1 according to chat, but the gravy boat's
Yeah.
a +3, just so you know.
Yeah.
So
I
The plus
found
one
it-
back scratcher can be found in the World Builder. In the,
Yeah, exactly.
is it in the Arms and Armory? That's the question. You should have put it in there as a damn Easter egg. That would have been awesome.
He didn't have a boomerang for the longest time. I had to ask him. I was like, "You got
Yeah,
a
I
boomerang?"
know.
He's like,
He's very picky. It's all about for him. It's all about clubs.
I got a throwing stick.
"Sure, you have a lot of throwing sticks."
I have a lot of throwing sticks.
a lot of throwing sticks and clubs. Just a lot of sticks, actually. That's what it is. Anyways,
Anyway, back to the names though. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one that conveys quite easily everything that's in the book is the Book of Names. It's
Yeah.
a book of names. And I don't think you could go any further.
World Builder and the Cosmos Builder.
so
I
Steve,
think Cosmos Builder is good. The problem with World Builder, or the issue that arose with World Builder, was that it doesn't actually say how to build a world.
No, it's more how to flesh a world out.
It's how the information needed to flesh a world out.
well, yeah,
So
The World Completer.
right.
There you go.
there you go.
Got a question for you,
The world
Steve,
of
that
control.
only you can answer. Only you. All right.
Oh Lord.
That's right. Climbing that mountain asks. The Kickstarter hasn't started yet, but hypothetically speaking, when would you imagine these books shipping?
Yeah.
I
We
love that
cannot
question.
call it
Good
the
job,
World
Mountain.
Flesher.
No, we're not calling it World Flesher. No, Fedora.
So the good thing about these books is they're written. These 7 books are written, and the next 3 in the series are written as well.
Right.
We're going to run them back through editing and whatnot, and get new covers. There'll be new art. Peter Bradley is working on a new layout. Looks pretty cool. I've seen kind of the template of it. I like where he's going with it. So all of that, all that said, as soon as the Kickstarter funds, which I'm certain that it will, we will. It's already in production, honestly, because Peter's already working on it. We'll send them into editing, get these things edited. I'm going to guess 6 months to get everything cleaned, new covers, new art, all that stuff. A couple of months to read. To print these things by Christmas. I think it's reasonable. Now, having said that, every time we lay a schedule out, Wizards of the Coast does something and wrecks our schedule. So
That's true.
we will see.
I don't think there's anything that they can do now.
Yeah, I think their quiver's empty.
Their quiver's empty, and I don't really care anymore. I don't care.
No, the
Yeah.
problem,
Unless they serve us with a frivolous lawsuit
Yeah, exactly.
that we have to
there's
respond to.
The problem is Jeremy specifically is working 8 hours a day on the SRD OGL stuff. And I'm probably, I don't know how much I'm putting in, but not that much, but I'm putting a lot too, just to cleanse these books of all of that stuff. So it's delaying stuff. But at any rate, I think within a year they should be shipped.
I spend more time on the update than I do removing identifying the SRD
True.
content.
That's true.
That's easy. I just open the thing and I compare it, and that's 30 minutes.
That's been a
That's pretty
lifesaver.
quick.
The player's handbook.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, which books are you guys most excited for?
I
Then
want
we
all
can
of
take a
them
look at chat
because.
and see what everyone thinks.
Oh, I shouldn't say. You're gonna ask me till the end. I'll show. I didn't say that. I don't want 'em.
No, please.
No, I was just gonna say I'm dying to get them because I don't have the world builder, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like to have them. I'd like to have them personally.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm notoriously terrible with favorites questions.
Yeah.
Me
I'm trying to
too.
narrow it down with like half of
Oh.
them.
Right here.
Yeah, I can't pick one. If I had to walk away with one, say as the only, I don't know, that's a really difficult question
Mm,
because I really like the Book of Names because it adds so much context, right? Like a
mm.
name will add so much context, and you can use it to go other directions. The Canting Crew, on the other hand, is just a wealth of adventures. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just like every freaking line I read in there, like, oh, there's a cool encounter, there's a cool adventure, there's a cool way to look at that.
I'm torn
And
between the Book of Adventures and Canting Crew for that reason.
yeah,
I gotta go with the world builder. I use that book all the time.
Yeah, I do too. Of course, it's the only one I
Yeah.
own.
I
But I'm
gotta
just
say,
saying,
so-
you know.
So I'm gonna do a little competing stuff. Davis is right about the Book of Names. It's a fantastic resource, but I will say that Davis wrote a Book of Names for us for TLG last year, and I use that one far more than I do Gary's
Oh,
book. Because the way you set it up, I don't know how to do numbers, but you got 3 names and 100 in each list. Is that right? So 300 names that all can be used in different orders. So I keep that book, and that a chunk of that went on the screens, but I keep Davis's Book of Names behind my screens because I can just pop it open, and it's got orc names and knoll names and dwarf names, and it gives me just, I don't know how many combinations that is, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. Because I set it up so it works like that. You can combine elements to create the names, and I really put a lot of work into combining those elements.
Phantom, I agree with that. Phantom says there's more stuff on the generators, the online generators, except I don't have quick access to the internet behind the screens. Even if I have to stop and pull my phone up and go to an online generator and enter in some stuff, the string, everything's broken. So I want something I can just open, look at, and here's my name, and I go with it.
The other thing too is that what I'm most interested in about that book is the write-ups on like what goes into a name and how to go about like mindfully naming someone or something.
Yeah,
I think that's so cool.
Yes,
that's probably the unsung part of this book, because it's a good 20, 30 pages on just, it was like 22, 23 pages on just the importance of and how to come up with a name.
Right. There was another person in here who said, like, as a writer, I've got no need for the builders, which is a fair perspective. However, you're wrong. I think these are great resources for writers. If you've ever had to like Google anything, these will get you the answers faster.
That's right. I mean, when you dive in, like if I want to know I want them to go into a Gothic cathedral. What are those rooms on the side of the main, hall? What is the main hall called? And it's all
it'll tell you like, here's a castle, here are all of the rooms in the castle, here are the items that you will find in the castle, here's what those rooms are used for.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, everyone needs a little bit of help, I think.
I will say this, and Peter and I were talking about this the other day. We're going to illustrate this next version better. There will be more illustrations.
You mean more than one every 16 pages?
Yeah, exactly.
That was exciting.
It was a tough time in the old days.
Art is expensive.
It is expensive.
These artists want $500 at least.
So, MJ Cook asks, has it been decided what books are up above the original 7 will be available for the Kickstarter? What is their content? We spoke about that earlier, didn't we, Steve?
Yeah, so there's 3. There's Essential Places. Now that one's still, we haven't got a hold of the author yet, so I gotta track him down. Jeremy gave me a
yeah.
Yeah, you gave that to me.
Do you need me to send it to you again?
Yeah, I need to get it to Dan. Actually, put it in the main chat group so Dan can have it, because he's heading the entire GFW stuff up.
I think I still have it.
Well, he can put it. He can put it. I can have him put it in Dan's folder if you want.
Yeah, that too. Wherever, so and then I can just let Dan know to try, and he knows to try to track the guy down. But I don't think he has had much luck. Now
Right.
Peter knew him. Peter worked on another project with him about something. So, but Peter couldn't find his email. So there's essential places, and then there's the Wayland Smith catalog, which is this catalog of magic items that are humorous. We'll put it that way. Very playable at the table, but Gary had quite a sense of humor and loved puns and all that stuff. So that's what the Wayland Smith. He really wanted that one.
So corny.
Do
I
what?
cannot stress, he was so corny. I cannot stress this enough.
Yes.
There was a whole side to Gary that, the funniest I ever saw. It was at Game Fest in 03 or 04 or something, and Gary was running a game of 4 or 5 people. I think Peter was at the table, and I'm just walking by. I'm leaving the booth, going to get Dr. Pepper or something, and Gary goes, and he casts a spell upon. He does this whole thing, his deep voice and all that, and then he goes, boogity, 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 boo. What's going on over there?
What?
He had a really funny sense of humor.
It's like if it's like he read one too many Elsbreg de Camp novels. This is going to be my personality. It's very dry, weird sarcasm.
Yeah, and he pinned me with it all the time. And then the third one is it's the Pantheon book. And I know that one's finished. That one's written by Gary Gygax, and the Wayland Smith is written by Gary Gygax. But we got to dive into the Pantheon one. That one had just been turned over. I know this because the files were in Word, and in those days we used Word Perfect, so we had not converted the files from Word to Word Perfect. So
yeah, I actually tried to open the Pantheons because it's on that thing, that drive you gave me, and I couldn't open it.
Yeah, those are just send it to Jeremy. Jeremy can open it.
I can open it.
I've been sending you file. You've opened a bunch of them last year for me.
Oh.
I don't know what you did, but.
Surprise!
I probably just converted them with a web tool. I don't remember doing that.
Who knows? Yes, Manfred von Beck, absolutely. Word Perfect is far superior to
I just know that the document is old or written by an older person. There's 2 spaces after every period.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta delete 78,000 spaces now. Because I gotta fix that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you fix it if it's not broken?
It's because with updated word processors, they automatically put a larger space after a period. It's automated now. You don't have to do it.
Really, everyone's upset about the 2 spaces thing.
Yeah, because now it's too wide.
I did not know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I tell you, this stuff can get really deep.
Technology.
I wouldn't even notice it. So,
and put an Oxford comma in there.
You can pry the Oxford comma from my cold dead hands.
You know who doesn't use it is he.
I ride or die with
He
the
doesn't use it
Oxford
for
comma.
anything.
Oxford
Oh
comma
my
forever.
god!
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know what program I write in. Do I write in Word or Word Perfect?
Word.
It's Word.
Probably
Word.
write
We
in
don't
Word.
write in Word
Nobody writes in
perfect.
Word.
Trust me.
Nobody
I
writes in
think
word
Word
perfect.
Perfect is gone.
No, it went to the way of
Oh,
dinosaurs. So.
oh, I didn't know that. I don't keep that.
Well, Jeremy and Scott, what about you guys? I don't think we got answers from you both yet.
Yeah, Antiquitous over there keeps asking for us to talk. So, and I hardly ever get on here and talk, which a lot of other viewers will attest. So,
We got to wring out the most of it.
yeah,
That's right.
but I'm after the Book of Names, and then that Pantheon book he just mentioned really sounds cool.
Yeah.
So I like
That
the Book of
Pantheon.
Names because you can use that, and you could use it in any game you play. You know, not necessarily Castles and Crusades.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would play any other game.
Plus, it's amazing
Keep
adventure.
talking. Keep talking. It's good.
Or Swords
Swords
and
of
Chaos.
Chaos.
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing, okay, and this is the point. Is a good point to make that no one's mentioned. These books are agnostic of game systems. They're for you to use for
Yeah.
any kind of creativity, even outside of gaming, like Grace talked about. You know, so,
We got to decide how we're going to handle
here he comes.
the
The
monetary
editor.
value
Of what?
like items have values attached to them.
Yeah.
We have to decide: are we doing gold pieces?
Oh, right.
Because that's not
Oh.
system agnostic anymore. Do we put $1?
I say we
I think we
do
should
wooden
deny it.
nickels. Is what I do. Wooden nickels. I like it.
Shekels? Like
Shekels, like from the book. You know what book I'm talking
Like-
about?
What?
You don't know what book I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Who knows
Shekels
shekels?
are-
Oh my
shekels
God,
are-
Wolf alone might know shekels. Wow, that's like
The
a.
Book of Shekels.
Shekel is a form of currency.
Oh, well,
Coin.
there's a book also that reference. Never mind. We won't go into all that.
I've heard the word shekels, but I don't know what it's attached to.
It's a Jewish coin.
Well, yeah,
Oh, okay.
the coin of Israel. Yeah.
Cool.
You know, that's going to be a difficult one, picking a currency to value things in, or just not value anything. Leave it up to them, or just use like I don't know, value 1 and then
Farkles.
value 2 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like value classes is
Yeah.
good, or just like I think you said this was Gary's original idea, which was to give it like dollar values.
He did. Breg just hit that up. Yeah, you're right, Breg. That's
Yeah.
what it is in there. It's dollars. Yeah.
Oh,
Which-
do it in Dr. Pepper's.
Which converts very easily in our minds, being the culture we live in nowadays, modern and all. You know, I get it.
Wait, how much would a Dr. Pepper be worth in gold pieces or silver pieces? Or
I don't know what's the buying power of a gold piece.
Oh God, Jeremy's ready. He's like, let's do it.
the I actually
Is a
do you
copper
want me
piece
to
a
look it
penny?
up? Do you want me to look it up?
Well, you could go with that as a fun reference. Copper piece is a
Wait.
penny, so there you go.
I'd say
it would
yeah,
be
like
a-
a silver
so-
piece is $1, a gold piece is $10.
Okay, so then a
Okay,
Dr.
so
Pepper would be a
so we're-
silver piece.
So we're buying short swords for $90.
Here we go. I knew there was a trap.
No.
I knew there was a trap.
No, it's not a trap. None of it makes any sense.
Okay, no, hold on, Jeremy. Okay, you guys keep
This is
talking. Let me
awesome.
look
How long
it
does
up.
how long does it take one to make a short sword? Is 90
Oh my
Probably
God.
like a good one. Probably like a
Yeah. Well, like a week's worth of work, I would pay $90 to somebody for them working for a
In
week.
today's currency, yeah, I think that's probably.
$90.
Just for
Okay.
a week to work.
Pete just bought a sword that I think is a real sword, and it was $350. So
Yeah, they're
pretty
It's a
standard.
little more like it.
Okay, here you go. I'm going to read to you my second paragraph. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
For game purposes, a baseline had to be created. This is on weapon costs. This being how long it would take a peasant farmer to purchase a well-made heavy arming sword. This is based on a few medieval records and modern purchases of similarly valued weapons. Assuming a peasant were to earn 10 silver pieces a day and require 9 silver pieces of that to live on, it would take approximately 1 year or 365 days or 365 silver pieces for them to purchase an arming sword, giving it a value of 400 silver pieces.
That's probably fairly accurate.
man, but he's spending 90% of his income just to survive.
Yeah, peasants didn't have.
Well,
armies.
yeah,
because they couldn't afford
Yeah.
them.
but they didn't own the land.
That's true.
Yeah, but they weren't yet. That's based
What
on medieval
percentage of
records,
their
how much they
income was-
actually spent.
Okay.
And most of them, they wouldn't make like 10 silver pieces a day. They
Right.
would only perhaps make 1 silver piece a day, and the rest of it's in barter, trading for like time and stuff
Right.
like that.
Well,
They
that's-
actually don't
that's-
even have the access to money.
Because really, if you want to do this realistically, everything should be valued in like pounds of grain or something,
Can I?
because that's what everybody's going to be trading with.
Yes.
I'd like to.
I
Put my,
valued it in time.
I want to put my input in real fast. Savage
Yeah.
Splendor says TLG currency: copper pieces equals Dr. Pepper, silver pieces equals cheeseburger, gold pieces equal a trip to New Tatum, Mexico. Tatum, New Mexico, so you can get both. So there you go.
Which is going to happen soon.
Yes, the
I need to
fever is
run it
upon
up.
him. The fever is upon him.
Platinum piece is a trip to TrollCon.
Oh, there you go.
Mm. Has TrollCon ever happened?
We've had
Oh,
4
many.
of them on.
Okay.
No, we've had
okay.
more than 4.
It's like, oh, many. We've been in business for 25 years. We've done 4.
No, we've done more than 4. I know. In fact, we've done at least. I counted up. I think I counted up on one hand at least 7 or 8. I know of at least.
On one hand,
And that's not counting. Well, that's
You
not
better go to the
count-
doctor,
whatever. But smart ass. But anyway, I do know that there's been a few little small pop up ones as well that were like
Yes,
just
we did
literally.
a couple TrollCon Easts out in New Jersey.
TrollCons are like cicadas. Exactly right. Dave.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They come every 7 years or 9 years or whatever.
So there. Anyway, that's how I would generate all costs in silver pieces based on that thing. But I'm not sure, like, how to actually do it. I think the value classes, probably easy.
That's my thought too.
This is why this copper piece, silver piece, gold piece thing is just a band-aid over a problem that cannot be fixed by
No, it can't.
mere mortals. You cannot build a working economy
No.
in a game without bringing in like a team of economists to like figure it out. It's
And
not
you
worth
know-
doing that.
Yeah, and everything fluctuates. You have to put in
Yeah.
inflation,
Yeah.
and then you have to put supply and demand, and then you have like it's valuable over here, but it's not valuable over there.
And then you got and then
Yeah.
if you did that, you've got the castle keeper sitting at the table trying to track this stuff and going, this just isn't worth it.
Well, here's the thing. There's an easy fix to that, and that's backing GFW and getting the nation builder, which covers
say-
economies and currency and transactions and like
I thought you were
exchange
going to
rates
say an
and stuff.
anarchist system.
Yeah, Grace, bring
That too.
Yeah. What is in the cause the? You said there's a pantheon.
The
One?
Pantheon's book, yeah, that's
Is that a bunch of existing pantheons, or how to
he
make
created
them?
an entire pantheon for his world. It went with legendary adventures. I can't remember what that world was called. So it's got.
I've just read it. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's got an entire pantheon with it, all of the gods, their specifics, holy symbols, all of that stuff. And that was what he had turned over, and he wanted that to be basically one, you can go with it and use it, or this is an example of how to build a pantheon.
Sure. So there's like information in there on how to build your own pantheon.
Yes.
That's cool.
In
And
the
that's
Hermit,
very
he only
important. I
says
think
the
that's really
legendary
important.
Earth world settings.
For a lot of games.
I can't.
I haven't seen the Pantheon book at all. Like I said, I tried to open it and couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't even think. I know I went through the files. I vaguely remember that, but I don't. We didn't. It wasn't even pulled out of the files that Gary gave us and put in, because we're doing essential places. I think Het was in editing,
Yeah.
and Waylon Smith was somewhere in art discussions, because there's going to be a whole lot of art needed for the Waylon Smith catalog.
The Waylon Smith catalog. I look forward to that one. I think that'll be cool.
Was
It's
it
a lot.
out in some form at one point?
Someone told me it was that.
Because when I got the Hermit to edit, he tells you to use Waylon Smith.
So what may have happened, and this I can't speak to. There was another company when we signed with Gary called Heckaforge, and Gary owned
Yeah,
it.
they did. Yeah.
He owned half of Heckaforge, and Heckaforge was putting out the legendary adventure material originally. And Chris Clark he still owns Heckaforge, and like TLG had his own print shop, so he short printed a lot of stuff, POD of his own stuff. So it's very possible that these books materialized at some point under the legendary adventures bandwagon, but never really saw any kind of distribution. Some of Chris's stuff went in, but some of it wasn't worth, sitting through the channels and all that.
So, it'd be funny to bring into a game. This would be hilarious. So inflation got so bad in Rome at one point, they had to, the coins were worthless. They were literally absolutely worthless. And no
Well,
one.
that happened in Egypt
Yeah, it happened in Egypt as well. And the gold market collapsed. And
when Mensa Musa went through.
yeah. But so what the locals did was they used rocks as a form of currency. Stones.
You're talking my language.
Yeah, literally, if someone could look that up, I don't know, I'll look it up later, but I think, as I recall, it was literally stones that they used. I don't even know how they marked them or something like that, but they used stones during that time. And then the stones they inflated to like no value.
Oh,
or
no.
deflated.
Did they work the stones? Were they like carved, or is it just a
I
rock?
don't know. I couldn't get much information about it. I just read it and I was just laughing so much. I was like, oh my God, there's
David, your
Your
camera.
camera fell.
Fix your camera, or whatever you've done over there. My,
'Cause there are rye stones.
Steve, I'm
which are
literally
like-
going to drive up there. I swear to God, I'm going to drive somewhere. I'm going up
Because
there.
rye stones are those carved rock disc things in Polynesia.
yeah, no,
They use
these are
it.
like just they would carry bags of rocks with them.
I would love
I mean, I
a
do that.
rock-based economy.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Doc Flamingo
Well,
from
yeah,
YouTube
that's what
says,
happened.
he says, I live in Florida. I'd be screwed if it was a rock economy. He's got a fair point. Sand everywhere.
Well, sand is rocks. You'd be the richest of us all.
Very
It'd be like copper pieces, though, Grace. Think about it. It'd be coming up with a bag of sand. Here, please. This is
Nothing but sandy
know.
loam down
And then,
there.
like,
Technically
go-
rock.
This isn't the great sand. Your sand's all dirty. It's got dust in it.
There's no
This is-
quartz crystals in here. What the hell?
This is more of a silt than a sand.
Yes.
This is
And
sandy
the
loam
bank
crap
would
you're
say
bringing.
that.
and it's wet. That means it weighs more. It's not. What are you doing? Trying to cheat me? I gotta
The
look
risk
that
of sounding like Peter, I like to suggest we steer away from this conversation before it gets too granular.
up.
Jail.
Mm-mm-mm.
40 years in jail.
40.
Peter would be proud of you, Jeremy.
Antiquus has got a good point. Salt was used as money, and he's right. You know?
Yeah, salt was
That's
coffee,
great.
not coffee beans. Vanilla beans were used as money. I think.
Okay,
coffee,
I've heard like a million times people
Shit.
say, they're like, did you know in the ancient world salt was more valuable than gold? There's no way that's true, right? Because you could just like go to the beach.
It's
and, like,
according to
get salt.
no. It's according to resources, man. I'm telling you, there was wars fought over salt. There's been wars fought.
There's a
Yeah.
poem by Pablo Neruda, and I'm having trouble thinking of the name, but it's about salt. Not anything else. It's just about salt. And the way that Neruda writes about salt would make me completely believe that it's more valuable than gold.
There was a book came out about 20 years ago. I believe it's called Salt, and it's the history of
Oh,
salt.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's got the.
its impact. Yeah.
Oh man, the Civil War. I can go on for days with you about that. And those battles fought over salt. It's crazy here in
another
Virginia.
thing that was really valuable was, but there are things that are way more valuable than gold. But weight for weight, and pepper was at one time.
Silk.
Pepper was.
Update. It's just called Ode to Salt. Never mind. It's so great though.
And pepper was so valuable at one time, only the elites could afford it in Europe when it first arrived in Europe. And during parties, they would have these big bowls of just pepper to show
Look at
how
my
wealthy.
pepper.
Yes, this is my pepper, just to show how wealthy they were. And I was like, yeah, okay,
I
great.
got a
Don't
cabinet full of it.
Don't even get me started with shells and pearls and shit like that. You know, think about it. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
remember how the mound builders used all that crap? That was crazy, man. They would trade for shells off the coast versus off the Mississippi versus anyway.
Oh, yeah, that was a current. Yeah, it could be
Yeah, it was
used as
currency for them. Yeah, it's crazy.
And there was a
Is unusual currency covered in any of these books?
You know,
that I
Typical
don't-
monetary
don't
system?
think so.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
look
don't
at this
think
one
so.
and see. I don't know.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
probably like all these items can be found in the World Builder, but not as.
We don't want to.
currency,
We don't want to
maybe.
make a liar out of you.
There's another good point. Glass beads were very valuable, and these are just glass beads. You know,
I
in
think
Europe, like-
anything that a society values can be used as a currency. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, Castles and Crusades players' handbooks. That could certainly be a currency.
Absolutely, 100%.
if you go to Walmart and trade your Castles and Crusades books for food, you will get a free.
You're golden.
If they accept it, I've got some questions.
I'll pay 50 players' handbooks.
Yeah, it's, Steven, I'm gonna take advantage of that employee discount here.
Yeah, damn it!
Way to
I
go,
gotta pay some
Steve.
movers here.
Way to go.
I have made a fatal mistake.
Like, well, if I
Ooh.
accept your player's handbook, I have to accept everybody's player's.
Well, that's true. And the bottom falls out, and there we are.
Again,
At the bottom falls out. It's deflated. It's
That
no
raises
longer
a
worth
good
it.
question that I want to ask you guys and chat. If someone, what currency would you personally accept? What could somebody pay you that isn't money for a good or service?
Oh,
Bitcoin.
well, it's easy for me. Surely.
Hold on.
Go
Whoa,
for
whoa, hold on. We are live streaming. Okay, terms of service. Continue.
Don't say sex.
Yes.
Dr. Pepper and cheeseburgers.
Of course. Why did you bother to answer? We don't even need to know from you.
Yeah, I know.
Incredible.
I'm shocked.
I would definitely take Dr. Pepper's currency, guaranteed. If someone showed up at my house with a pallet of Dr. Pepper and said, "I
Would
want
you
all
really?
these players to
No shit. You
go,"
would?
Would you really?
That's interesting.
Even if it wasn't of equivalent monetary value?
I would want it somewhere of course,
Close.
Yeah, it's not expensive anymore. That good God, you might get half a player's handbook now.
What if he's really hardballing you?
Yeah, then it depends on how much I have in the fridge.
You're really low. You're like on your last can.
then anything goes at that point.
It just came. It was in. He brought it in refrigeration.
Look,
That was
I
at the
can't
perfect
think-
temperature.
I can't think beyond the meal that I'm thinking about. So if I don't have a Dr. Pepper and he comes and says, "I got a cold Dr. Pepper," I'll give him a lot of players' handbooks.
Get the shirt off your back.
I'll worry about the next one in 3 or 4 hours.
That's making me want a cheeseburger for the first time in forever.
Dude, same. I'm hungry now.
So think about this for a
It's a
minute.
problem.
Doc Flamingo says glass blowers in Venice were tattooed and under a death sentence if they left the city because they wanted to maintain their monopoly on glass.
Oh, interesting.
I can totally
Really?
believe that for several reasons.
Dude,
Those Italians were pretty scary back in the day.
They were pretty rough bunch back in the day. That's for sure, man. For sure.
I would
like, we have
love to
organized
either
crime,
make
religion.
that character or read a book about that
That would
glass
be cool.
blower.
That
Yeah, cool.
is, that's a good piece of information. I don't-
Right?
Yeah. No,
That's
that is,
so awesome.
yeah.
My name is Agrippa Pasquintio. I need to get out of Venice.
My
really
name is
bad.
Baguette.
My name is
Wait,
Oh, is-
Baguettes are French, not Italian.
Baguette's a French. He's Agrippa Pasquintio.
So,
I mean, there's an adventure right there. Like,
Yeah.
this glass blower contacts you and says, I need to get out of this city. And you
Get me out
know.
of here.
you gotta do a kidnapping, right?
You have no idea. You're like, okay, yeah, we'll get you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
you
like,
already know.
The tattoo is like enchanted, so they know if anyone with a
Branded in
tattoo.
his forehead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, write us an
So they
adventure,
know.
Jeremy. Get on that. That's awesome. It could be awesome.
It was-
Yeah,
it was her
Jeremy.
idea.
The Flight of the Glass Blower from Kraken
Oh
Jones.
no, okay. It's got a magic mouth in it. So if he goes past the city limits, it just screams nonstop.
Runner!
Hey,
Like Logan's
We're
Run,
trying
right?
to leave.
His forehead has a magic mouth.
Yeah.
So that's what this is going to be. It's like a metaphor for Logan's Run. I can already see this panning out. You know. So I think I would
You gotta
take
smuggle them out in wine barrels.
if someone come up to try to get me to do something like if they brought me a pallet full of I don't want to hear no bullshit from Steve or anybody, but if it was me, I would probably take, I hate to say it, 'cause I always bitch about not caring, but I would probably take some out of print old D&D books for sure. And in other games too.
Ooh.
Anything from the mid 70s or before, I would definitely be all over. Definitely. 'Cause-
Crisp copy of Boot Hill with your name on it.
oh my
That's
God,
right.
I'm right there. I'm there. I love that game. Yeah, it'd be awesome. I could stare at it on my shelf until I die. It'd be wonderful. Wait, what?
Oh,
Anyway.
then it's going into a landfill.
Probably. Well, no, I'm training my granddaughter to use
You're
all
like,
this
what the hell
crap.
is this?
Granddaughter's gonna use all this
Cowboy
stuff,
game.
so. Cowboy game. Oh my God. Don't be so disrespectful to TSR, damn it. Anyway.
Hey, listen, I know what it is.
I'll look at Manfred just toting. Yeah, go ahead, Manfred. Just strut around with your crisp copy of Boot Hill. That's fantastic. Crisp. That's great.
It's like wearing your jewels.
Yeah.
Steve, you need to get a drink. Heather's up.
I
She's
do.
pumping you up
I
for
do.
sure.
I do literally destroy everything that I touch. I don't have hardly any of that stuff. The only stuff of mine that's left can't
He will
a long time ago. Yeah. I literally, and I just obliterated. Kent gave me something like a month ago. I'm not going to tell him what. And I
Right.
literally obliterated it. And I realized today I was stepping on it. And I was like, where am I stepping on? I was like, oh.
What were you stepping on?
Some book I gave him, God knows what it was.
Oh, gosh.
I was about to text you and say, Kent, do not give me any collectible ever again. Just don't.
Can't give you anything. I
Man.
did have a brilliant idea though. Why don't we open up a Castles and Crusades food truck? Sell cheeseburgers and Dr. Pepper at Gen Con. Just saying.
You'd make money.
Probably.
Oh yeah,
Make more money
especially if
than
it's
you would
close
in
to the
food,
gaming hall.
honestly.
You know,
You'd probably make more money doing that than working a booth.
Minus
Probably.
the $25,000 fee you would have to pay.
Yeah, they're gonna slap you.
Well, there is. Bastards.
I was gonna say we're headed for like 5 years from now. We're not even making books anymore. We're all out selling cheeseburgers.
Just make a cheeseburger.
What happened?
Wait a
I don't
minute.
know. This
Are we
sucks.
doing something? We're all covered in grease
Great
burns.
history of troll
Yeah.
organics.
Dude, that would be fun to run a food truck.
For about
No, it
10
wouldn't.
minutes, I think.
And tickled us. Most people don't know this, but we did a lot of in-depth study about Dr. Pepper, and actually, Coke is really just Dr. Pepper. They kind of messed up the recipe after Coke was invented after
right.
Dr. Pepper, just so you know that. So
Yes.
technically,
It is the
Coke is.
oldest soft drink.
That's right. So,
Dr. Pepper was first.
that's right.
The OSR of beverages.
That's right.
I like that. The OSR of beverages. That's good.
TSR of the TSR.
Dr. Pepper isn't even a real
Or
doctor.
TSR.
Mr. Pibb would be the OSR.
Mm.
There you go.
No, can you imagine how fun
That
would
sounds
be?
too mean. That's I
Wait,
don't mean
what?
that.
No.
No. Listen, wait. I have a great idea. All right, so I talked about the other day, like the traveling roadshow for Troller Games, right? The convention.
What do you think this is?
Yeah. So we just notched this thing up. So we have a mobile convention center, right? It's like these two big, huge RVs, and one of the RVs is like the gaming center and the food court. It's like we have our own little food bar where we make cheeseburgers and we sit there
all over it.
and just drive around and play games in the RVs and sleep in the other RV. I think that would be fun. That would be
That'd be fun. That'd be fun for like 4 days, and then it'd be like, this is hell.
I will tell you, we back in like 07, 8, 9, somewhere in there, we seriously considered buying an RV and going to conventions in the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark loves cooking out, so Mark would do the cooking and we just stay in the RV instead of hotels.
I'd be okay
There was
with
a
that.
there was a
Sounds
lot
great.
of dreams back
I'll
then,
say.
and then age came.
You could paint sweet shit on the side of the van.
But you know how much we spent in hotels over those 15 years of going to conventions? You could have bought 3 RVs. So
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's true.
I don't know.
And that's one of the things I can't. It doesn't bother me much spending money, but spending money on a hotel room, I find morally reprehensible.
I don't think Steve. Yeah, I don't think Steve's even told you guys, but all the cons this year we're going to, we're all having tents. We've already worked all that
That's
out.
right.
Got a campground, shuttle. Yeah,
In the parking lot. Yeah.
that would be a shocker.
We're gonna have to fight off security with spears.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can't be here. Be like, ah.
So, what is your favorite book you're looking forward to the most, Jeremy?
All of them at once, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't.
I think you're the same boat as me.
I have not read any of them.
Only one I've read is that
curious.
one, and I love it. So I'm really anxious about it. Scott said
Way
his.
before I ever even heard of Troller Games. I had friends who had copies of these. And they're like, "Oh, these books are great."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I better get one." And I could never figure out how to get copies of them.
Right.
So it's been like this weird.
You clearly
mystery.
figured it out. You're here. So
I've definitely figured it out.
You did the roundabout way.
Yeah.
I circled the drain for about 20 years, and I was like, "Oh, you guys made that book? What the hell?"
All right. So I think I'm
Yeah.
on the convention thing. I'm going to be on that. Hey, Jeremy, do you need PDFs of the books?
Yes.
Sell them to him.
No, I can send you PDFs stuff. I didn't know you don't have any of them.
No, how would I get them?
Well, my brother should be sending them to you.
No, he still needs to send me Hall of Many Pains.
Okay.
Oh,
Jeremy is focused on the monster book right now.
I am focused on Monster Book.
so
Then I got to do something for AA. I don't remember what it is.
So I've got
Oh, that's right.
two things here. One, for anyone who's listening right now, okay, and you're watching chat, if you would
Does
do
that
me a
include
big
me?
favor, if you have a copy of the Canton Crew in PDF, email me right there and send me a copy of it, please.
Yeah.
I would love that because I can't find a copy of it anywhere, and I searched pretty dark.
I
but
don't
no.
think it was ever made into a PDF by TLG.
Right, I'm looking for illegal shit now. I'll just be honest with you, okay? I'm throwing it
It's
out
not
there.
on Drive-Thru. Vegas, it's not on Drive-Thru.
Oh, if we're
No,
being
it's
if we're
not.
being open, if we're being honest, I already have a copy of it.
I've done been on 4chan. I've done been in 4plebs. You got one? Because I lost
Pretty
all
sure.
my PDFs. They're gone.
They were on. Okay, they're on my.
That's fine. All right,
Yeah,
moving right along. We've got a
you
question from.
You just haven't you haven't mailed me your hard drives yet, so I can recover all your PDFs.
That is very true. That is very true. I need to do that in the next century. You're right. I need to do
My
that.
drive somewhere.
All right,
Yes,
Chris,
Antiquus.
Chris Donovan has a question he asked the other day. I know he wanted to ask about that. He says, why is that in the way? Go
I
away.
delete them.
How many Codex Germania were printed with the error on the back cover versus how many were corrected?
Yes.
Basically what he's asking.
Well,
But I
none
can't
of them
read
were corrected. It was a full print run, somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. I'd have to pull the paper on it. So,
Okay.
but I think Germanius, Lavorum, and what's the other one? Classicum. They're about all sold out. I honestly think Savorum's got about 12 copies left and it's out of print.
Oh, I don't have the Canting Crew is the one I don't have.
Of course.
So none of them were corrected. It will be problem with Germania. It's not going to necessarily be corrected the way taking the same text. Finn, who's our editor, is also rewriting those books, and Germania is one of the ones that he's rewriting right now. Completely new. It will be an official second edition codex. Second edition of codex.
Don't call it that. Don't call it that.
Yeah, careful with that edition word. That's not the
Yeah.
We don't use the word around here.
printing.
It will be a revised. It'll be Codex Germania reforged.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Love it.
So good
Edition
question.
modification.
Question for you, Steve, from MJ Cook. How did Jeremy, Grace, and Scott get roped into TLG?
They were suckers.
Yeah, they were
That's
suckers.
a damn fool.
They failed the test.
Like, I hope I get to work for a company like you guys someday. And they're like, okay.
Like, sure.
Now they're doing this
Come on
shit,
over.
trying to claw their way out every day. Ah!
Well, honestly, we met. All of us met over time, and they like Grace began working just a little bit. She started doing. I guess we hired you first to do an adventure, and then your life took a different track, and you couldn't get that. So you started doing. You're already doing some streaming, so she started doing streaming for us on Mondays, reading the entirety of the aired material, which makes her one of 3 of us now in the company that have read all of the aired material. Me, Chuck, and Grace. Even Davis hasn't read all of the
I read part of the Silmarillion. What is it? The Endanuth?
Yes, the Andanuth, yes.
Okay, I've read part of it.
Silmarillion. Well, Scott, go ahead.
As things played out, we needed a social media manager, and Grace fit that bill absolutely perfectly. For Jeremy, kind of the same thing. He began, I think, 6-8 months ago. Chuck, I was beleaguered with much work, and Chuck said, "Look, why don't you give Jeremy some of this?"
Yeah.
So I gave what I think I said, Jeremy, I need about 5 hours a week, and then you knocked that out, and then we had you to almost full time within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were like, can you do 10? I was like, yes. And then you were like, can you do 15? I was like, yes. And you're like, can you do 20? I was like, however much you want to give me, the answer is yes.
Yes.
So you're like, okay.
Baker.
And Scott joined us. Chuck brought Scott.
Right. Well, it was one of those situations. I don't remember the situation, but I remember saying, I got a guy. And that's how that happened. Something to do with IT. So, anyways.
And Scott's very special to me because we've had a few IT people in here who have been helpful and not helpful, whatever. But Scott's the only person I've ever let Scott and Jason have to access to my computer. When Scott says
remote control.
Yeah, when I need remote, I was like, here, I walk away.
We can't have any of that shit posted out on the internet, and we know, so we have trusted folk, Anyway,
Dave, I don't
you
know
hired
about,
someone to
I don't
read
know about that,
Steven's
Dave.
email and messages. Dave, I don't know about that. Yeah, like Jeremy said, I'm not sure. That's
But he
that's
doesn't
a tall
make you
order.
read the other inboxes. That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Manfred. I appreciate it.
Come to the clutch.
There
Well, I
was
think you
one
mostly
more.
manage that now, don't you? Steve? The 2 outgoing emails.
What?
I don't know who does that now.
Yeah.
Does what?
Um,
now?
Lando, you need to send that again. That's in the old email. Send that again. Send that to me again. Our product support or wherever you sent.
Let me see. Let me see. What I was
Davis
going to
coming
tell you
in
here.
for the kill.
Chris Dunn has one more question, and we're going to have to get out of here, guys. Unfortunately, because my wife's going to kill me. Question: will all the PDFs previously available on the old store be added to the new site, even if the hard copies are sold out? Chris, that's a tough question for you. I can't promise you they will be, because if we're not going to be selling the hardbacks, we might get them up eventually, but I don't know. That's a lot of work. I'm not real sure. If they're out of print, we probably don't want to sell the PDFs, my guess. But Steve, I thought you walked away.
Yeah, probably not. There's a lot of them that we can't put them into print. PDF digital is still only about 20% of what we do, and if we can't put them to print, then it's just not worth it, because Jeremy's the one that's in charge of kind of converting everything to the new material, and we've got him working on other things. So if time permits, I threw one module at you the other day. I think something, I can't remember what it was.
Did you? I hope I did it.
The Austrian thing, castle thing, Hochostritz.
Oh yeah, I got that back to you, right?
Yeah, you're done with it.
Yeah.
So if time permits, yeah, we'll get them out. But,
Yeah, because the main thing is that we can't just sell it again on the off chance that there's just Someone has to go through and read the whole thing and make sure there isn't some stupid little kernel of SRD content in there. So someone has to go through and read the whole thing and compare it to the stuff in the system reference document. It takes time. Like
so it becomes a whole
All right. Good time to stop right here. I'm gonna get over and give our giveaways. Give your last thoughts, if you would, please, to the crowd.
I'm going to go first because I got a split. Thank everybody for showing up. And if you haven't, please sign up for the Gygaxian Fantasy World Kickstarter notification page for early rewards. I will holler at everybody later. Take it easy, y'all.
All right, Steve. Thank you.
All right, out.
Let me get over here and stop this giveaway.
Don't stop it. Just keep giving stuff away.
Well, we gotta.
Steve leaves. Give it all away.
Give it all away. Give it away.
Get it out of here.
Like the end of a convention. I don't want to take all this back.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. You're right about that.
Jeremy, I used to do that. I was so bad. What I would do at the end of the convention is take a box and just take one of each of our products and fill the box up and just sell the whole box for like $100. Just so I didn't have to load that crap up. I didn't want
That's awesome.
Before I ever formally met you guys, this was the only year I ever went to Gen Con. This was your last year at Gen Con.
Oh.
And I think it was you, Davis. I was walking by the booth on the last day. I don't know if anyone else remembers this because it's a huge convention, and it was just random chance that I was right there.
Yeah. We were breaking down, weren't we?
You were probably breaking down, and you were you had a ton of stuff left.
Yes.
And you just shouted one of everything for $100.
Yes.
And I was like, no, that's way too much weight. I'm not going to do that. That's a great deal, but I'm not going to do that because of the sheer amount of stuff I would have to carry, like 2 miles back to my car.
Okay.
Did we stop and talk? Because I can remember that Gen Con because I wanted to get rid of. I just didn't want to load anything up.
I don't remember if we talked. I talked to a couple people.
Oh, I know. Let me give these away first, real quick. Okay, so pulling the pick first winner, or we'll be here all night with these two. All right, first up's going to be for a $15 code, and no, Bamford, we're not giving away a set of GFW yet. All right, first winner up will be. That's right. Wow, is it saying anything? Okay, there we go. It's not doing it again here. Stupid bot. So Manfred, you won. There you go, Manfred. You get a $15 towards your set. There you go. Or whatever. And Gabrielle, excellent. You've got a $15 as well. Excellent. You guys go over to City Risk is hanging out here in chat, but go hit him up in Discord. He'll get you your codes. And our last but not least for a $25 for the week is going to be Devin. There you go, man. Get on there and buy some stuff. Awesome. That's great. Good deal. That's awesome. Trolls. We are going to right out of here. We're going to go right into our buddy Phantom Ninja, who hangs out in the chat. He's a big CNC guy. I think you guys will enjoy him. I'm not sure what he's doing tonight, but maybe he's running an adventure. Maybe he's talking. I'm not sure, but we're going to raid into him. And let's see. What was I going to say? Well, I'll get this raid started.
We should have roller game back scratchers.
Jesus.
I feel like that's been suggested before.
You guys want to come around and see us again? I'll be running a game Saturday. We got a new player joining us Saturday, Sparky from the crowd, and Jeremy will be on there as well. And come by and see it. There's a Twitch schedule. Catch Jingo on Sundays with his game, and then Grace will be back Monday doing something. I'm not sure what. She'll think about it.
Yes, the hand of Vecna.
Dave, you worry me sometimes with some of the comments, Dave. You worry me. That's all right.
We can't call it that.
That's right.
Dude, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to research back scratchers.
Will you guys do me a favor?
Surely there's a more productive use of your time. As
we head over to see Rob, will you please give him a follow? He could use him. I would really appreciate it. Support the guy all you can. He's a fantastic CK. I can't say enough about him. And we'll catch you guys later, hopefully Saturday morning. Everybody have a great rest of your week. We thank you so much for coming out. Trolls!